Hello, my dear friends. In this podcast, we will be discussing the significant life changes that have recently happened in our lives. Have you ever experienced a significant life change? If so, how did it impact your life? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Before we start our conversation, let's take a moment to discuss the importance of the English language.
Hey Anna, what are the benefits of learning English?
Well, there are many advantages to learning English. For instance, you can open up a lot of opportunities for yourself. Personally, I have been able to work with companies from all over the world and earn money in dollars.
That's amazing.
Yes, if you want to progress in your career, make money, or be able to communicate with people from different countries without any hesitation. Learning English is very important.
But we don't really have a good environment to practice English here.
Unfortunately, the English taught in our schools is very basic. It only helps you to pass the exams. I have many friends who got the highest marks in English subjects, but when it comes to speaking, they are blank. They can't even speak a few lines. So, this is a big problem that I have noticed.
Hey, I'm curious. What are some cool ways to learn English?
The first step to learning English is to get used to hearing it. To do this, make it a habit to listen to English news and podcasts and watch English content instead of watching it in your local language. The more you listen to English and repeat it, the better. A good exercise is called shadowing. This means that whenever someone is speaking, you try to mimic or copy them. This gives you practical training in learning English and is a great way to improve your skills.
What are the next tips?
We'll be sharing more tips in the upcoming videos. By the way, it's time for our podcast to start.
Hey Anna, what's been keeping you busy? Anything exciting happening? I feel like things have been changing a lot lately. Have you had any big life changes recently? So, tell me something new. Have you made any big decisions recently?
Well, I just bought my first house and recently moved in.
So, where did you live before purchasing this house? Must be exciting to finally have your own place after renting.
You're right, it is exciting. I used to rent a small house, but I always dreamed of owning one. Now I finally have the space to make it my own.
Oh, I see. So, renting was an option for you. Can you tell me more about the rental process? I heard some people need to sell their existing house before buying a new one.
Yeah, it can vary by country, but in the US, most people rent before buying. You typically start by searching online for different rental properties. Then, once you find a place you like, you'll fill out a rental application. Some smaller landlords might not require one, but that could be a bit of a risk.
Exactly. In my case, I actually found my current house while I was still renting my apartment. The whole process took a while, but it was worth it.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things to consider when buying a house is the upfront cost.
Upfront cost meaning an amount of money paid before a particular piece of work or a particular service is done or received.
There's a down payment involved, which can be a hurdle for many people. We definitely struggle to save enough for a down payment for a long time. Hurdle means a problem or difficulty that must be overcome.
What does it mean, down payment?
When it comes to buying a house, one of the biggest expenses is the down payment, which is typically around 20% of the total price. In the United States, houses can range in price from $150,000 all the way up to millions of dollars. However, there are also additional expenses that come with buying a house, which can add up quickly. Before making the decision to purchase a house, it's important to have a thorough understanding of all the costs involved and to make sure you're financially prepared for such a big investment.
I've heard that the process of buying a house can be quite lengthy, and in the United States, it has become even more challenging in recent years. The prices of houses, particularly in areas where younger people want to live, have increased significantly compared to when our parents were young. As a result, my partner and I bought our first house much later in life than our parents did. It's definitely important to be aware of these factors when considering buying a house and to be prepared for the additional time and financial investment that may be required.
Yeah, buying a house in the United States has become increasingly challenging for younger people in recent years due to significant changes in the real estate market.
The real estate market is about buying, selling, or renting land and buildings. A realtor is a licensed professional who helps people buy, sell.
When I was considering purchasing a house, I quickly realized that most of the time, you need to have a realtor to help you navigate the process. In fact, it's estimated that 98% of the time, a realtor is necessary when buying a house in the US. This is just one of many factors to consider when thinking about purchasing a house. And it's important to be aware of all the requirements and costs involved before making a decision.
Tell me about your experience working with a realtor. What were some of the most helpful things they did?
The process of buying a house can be complex, which is why many people choose to work with a realtor. A realtor can guide you through the entire process and handle much of the legwork involved, which can save you a lot of time and stress. When I first started thinking about buying a house, I thought I could handle it on my own without a realtor. But I quickly realized that the expertise and guidance of a professional were invaluable. So, if you're considering buying a house, it's definitely worth considering working with a realtor to make the process as smooth and stress-free as possible.
Did the realtor used to call you all the time?
Yes, the realtor called us pretty much every day, sometimes up to 10 phone calls in a day. They were constantly working on setting up meetings, coordinating inspections, and discussing the timing of the contract. There are many little details to work through during the process of buying a house, and the realtor is there to help manage all of them. Of course, they do get a big cut of the final sale price, but in our experience, it was definitely worth it to have their expertise and guidance throughout the process.
Oh, okay. I was curious. How much did they take?
Realtors typically get paid a commission based on the price of the house that you buy. In our situation, the seller covered the realtor's commission, which was 6%. This meant we, as the buyers, didn't have any out-of-pocket expenses for the realtor's services. This can be a significant advantage for buyers, allowing them to benefit from a realtor's knowledge and guidance without a direct financial cost.
Hey Anna, when you decided to pack up your stuff, what was the first thing you had to do?
Hey Lucas, good question. The first thing I had to do was to get some boxes. I purchased some boxes and also asked for extra boxes from grocery stores. And then, a few weeks before the movers came, I started breaking down my house and packing everything up. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it in the end.
So, Anna, when you were moving, did you pack up all your stuff at once? Or did you do it gradually?
Hey Lucas, I did it gradually. I got some free boxes from a grocery store and started packing up stuff that I didn't need for day-to-day life about a week before the actual move. It helped to make the process less overwhelming and more organized.
I see. But what about moving all the heavy furniture and items? Did you do that by yourself, or did you hire movers?
Oh, that's a good question. While it's possible to move everything by yourself, I didn't want to deal with that. So, I decided to hire some movers instead. They helped to carry all of our heavy furniture, like couches, bookshelves, and kitchen tables. It made the move a lot easier and less stressful for me.
Wow, that sounds like quite a moving experience.
Yes, it was definitely an adventure. The movers had to walk a really long way because I lived in a downtown area where there wasn't much parking. And to top it off, they brought too big of a truck, so they had to park really far away and carry all our stuff.
That must have been really tough on them.
Yes, it definitely wasn't pleasant for them. They said it was the furthest they've ever had to walk for a moving experience. And because I lived on the second floor, they had to go down the second floor stairs, then down the apartment stairs, and finally halfway down the street just to put our couch in the moving truck. It was kind of a disaster.
I can imagine. Moving is never easy, especially when there are so many challenges like that.
Absolutely. But I'm glad I didn't have to do all that heavy lifting myself, especially since I was newly pregnant at the time. I think hiring movers was definitely worth the price for the peace of mind it provided.